Yay, I succeeded. I had kind of an inconvenience with my driveway gates. You can open and close them remotely, and the only problem is when you open it, either via the keypad out here from the street, or the vehicles. There's a little remote that's up in the sun visor, or I actually have the iPhone app, and it will open the gates, but they'll only stay open for a certain period. This dial, I think right now, I just turned it back, it was at 30. It's a little over 10 seconds. But once it closes, it closes. So what I like to do is, if I'm working in the yard all day in the morning or whatever, I'd like to open the gate and leave it open. Just let people know that I'm open for business, friends driving by, deliveries, what have you. And the gate installation people told me the only way to do that is you open it via any of the modes, and once the gate is wide open, you reach over and hit this reset button, and that will keep the gate open until further action. In other words, if you hit another remote operation or you drive over the loop, I think it'll close. But that entails me walking out here every morning to do that. Wanted a way to do that remote. So I bought this little McGaffer here on Amazon. It's a little relay control box, has 2 relays, 2 channels, works on 6 to 30 volts, and has 2 contacts, dry contacts, normally open, normally closed. So I took one of the contacts and wired it to the reset switch. I just soldered 2 legs of a resistor on and stuck it in here where the 2 white wires are. Where is that sucker? The 2 white wires go over to this reset button over here. And so I stuck leads on there and just stuck them in there so I didn't have to cut any wires. The other channel, I thought I would put it on the activation, one of the activation terminals, and they have a series of one. SBC is the remote one, although they didn't use that one. They used the fire control, the fire company control, but it doesn't really matter. They seem all activated. So this one has a fire control switch out front. There's a key box. And also they wired this little receiver to it, and I figured out what this receiver was. I didn't even screw it in, just laying in here. That's the remote receiver for the in-the-ground loop. So there's a little sensor that they dug down in the dirt, and it's a radio control box. And when it gets activated, it closes the contacts on this white and blue wire, which goes over to here. And so what I did is I took this first channel, which is channel A, and jammed them in there with the other 2 sets of wires. And I know it's kind of sketch, but I just have this setting up here, and by golly, it works. So as I will show you. So take my little remote key fob here. I don't know what the range is, but bink. I heard the relays click, and we got action, and the gates are opening, as you see. Open sesame. Bada bing. Remote, that was A. Now that they're open, they will stay open for roughly around a little over 10 seconds. It was set to 30. I thought that was too long, so I dialed it back. Now, if I hit this B button, that should activate the reset button. And it did, because I remember this light coming on for the reset. So now it's locked open. And so I should be able to do this from in the house or anywhere in the yard. I'll just keep it in my pocket, maybe put it on my keychain or something like that, and have it yet another way to open it remotely, because the iPhone app is kind of a pain in the butt. And the other 2 remotes I have are actually for the vehicles. They're up on the sun visors, and of course the keypad out front. So what I also discovered is this will stay open until, like I said, there's some other action. But I noticed that if I hit the reset button again the second time, I hear some clicking, and I think it overrides the stay open mode and starts the countdown timer for the closing action, which is this here. So we should see here in about 12 seconds or so, maybe 15. Excuse me. Then it should start to close on its own. There, I heard some clicking. There goes the motor. So at the end of the day, or if I'm in the house, or if I don't want it in the stay open mode anymore, I just hit B the second time. So there you have it. And here's the magnetic lock. I had to make some adjustments with my friend Chuck, And now it just barely kisses it. When that magnetic lock activates, boom, it pulls it in, and it's supposed to have a 1200 psi force to hold that closed. So that adjustment entailed pushing some buttons here and bumping some controls to adjust the final travel. So there you have it. I think that I'm going to call this good. I can come back here some later time and wire this in, or put it in here, or nothing's going to move. Just don't worry about it. So put the screws in, seal this box up, put the tools away, and call that good. So there we go. I'm going to open it again. Then I'll hit the reset mode to keep it open. And there we go. Another quick project. It cost me $11 and a few minutes of soldering some wires together, or making leads for that little relay box. And that's it. Let's see here. Okay, open. I will hit the B reset. I heard the relay click. I'll put this back in my pocket and button this up and call it good. See you later.